I broke your rule because it was a stupid rule. And the fact that you caught me meant that I'm good with the consequences. Go bite a frog.
Welcome to the Selling Dreams podcast.
Tonight we're filming episode 8. Welcome back, dreamers. So this is our question and answer section. So let's get to it. Episode 8. The career hustle. Finding success while managing ADHD. Preferably my ADHD. So, quick background, I'm a 47-year-old special needs teacher. I'm a single dad. I've been diagnosed since the age of 17 with ADHD.
Wow.
I am not medicated. Started having issues in school at the age of 5. That's when my mom and other teachers realized I had difficulties in the classroom with being on task and paying attention. My mother was a teacher in the primary school where I went, and my dad was industry relations officer. That's very, very much fun. So Steve Huffy does it. So let's start. First question is within the personal journey. The question reads, what inspired you to pursue a career despite the challenges of ADHD? Personally, I never felt that teachers truly understood how much I really wanted to learn and how much I actually spent time learning. Most of my learning was done everywhere else but the classroom. My grandmother invested in encyclopedias for me at a very early age, my mom and my grandmother, because I always asked why. You could just tell me, let's say, because we had a farm, let's say I asked, where does milk come from? You can't just say from the cows. I need to know the science behind how the milk was made inside the cow. That's how I was. Teachers never had answers for me for the questions I wanted. They wanted to answer questions like, they wanted me to learn about math and language arts. And when we did science, it was classify this as an animal, plant, vertebrate, non-vertebrate, mammals, birds, amphibian, reptiles. Just didn't appeal to me because I learned that on my own as a child. Personally, I cannot hear lectures. It's reminiscent of Charlie Brown. This was very, very evident. High school, teachers college. And even when I went back to UTT, thank God for the support systems that Pearson's Publishing had put into their program. So it wasn't just a textbook, it had a learning management system behind it, and that's what made me successful. Special needs, I went into special needs teaching because I wanted to make a difference. There are too many of people like me out there, and we're failing. And you hear parents say, well, book wasn't made for everyone. We're some of the smartest people on the planet, and we know it. We just don't like the conditions that work for other people. It just doesn't work for us. I enjoy sharing new experiences and knowledge. I love it. I love those aha moments. My friend Paula has a standard 5 class, essentially a grade 6 class. And I would go in there and like, okay guys, what's troubling you now? Why y'all can't figure this out? And I'm like, well sir, we don't understand. Let's say place value. Oh, okay. And you bring it back to something rudimentary that they understand. It's even real cool about that. And I love being around kids. Kids are the truest form of humanity, and they're fun. How has ADHD influenced your career choice of work style? Work style. Ooh. All right, so my biggest issue would be procrastination or lack of executive function. Has always been my big issue. So I can lose time. Let's say we're in between learning tasks. I just did handwriting, going into math. I do have a plan. I have my notes, everything is ready. And lo and behold, I started to think of a book I was writing in 1997. And then I tried like sit time for us to go, it's lunchtime, I'm like, oh crap. So I try to be in the moment. I put my students or some of my colleagues in charge of, hey, what are you doing? And that resets me. So that is weird. Teaching is the one job that allowed change. Now, before teaching, I was crane maintenance trainee. So I used to work on heavy lifters. I worked at the Port Authority. I worked at first at the steel mill and then at Port Authority. I love cranes. I love heavy movers, whether it is reach stackers, rubber tire gantry cranes, rail cranes, ship to shore cranes, pulley and hook cranes. I love those things. But yes, it afforded a certain amount of sporadicity so that I kept interested because there were unique problems coming up. But on slow days, oh my lord, life was hard. Just having to go out and do mundane things, let's say like repairs on pumps and motors. Yes, you did use your hands and stuff. Yes, you had camaraderie, but some days just couldn't wait till that day was over. Teaching allows you that flexibility because let's say I'm having a terrible day, didn't get any coffee that morning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm emotionally drained. I could go into somebody else's class and she was a nice friend. So there are some kids whose personalities are out there. So I have a friend named Kamaya. Oh my gosh, I love this girl. So she has Down syndrome, but she is the most strong-willed Down syndrome you've ever met. You cannot convince this child to behave. She's gonna do what she wants, how she wants. So I will go, and she has two classmates that are wheelchair bound and they have limited movement. They're CP, cerebral palsy students. So she treats them like babies. So she calls them her babies. So I will go when I need that little boost. I'll go. Kimara, it's Kimara, her name is not Kimara. Say Kimara, I come to the baby and she was like, no, go to class. I'm like, no, I'm not going to class. She's like, no, go to class. And she'll try to push me on the door. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go to class. And I would act like a 5-year-old and we would go at it. And it just takes me about 5-10 minutes out of my day. And I feel so good. And because she understands why I need it, you'll find at the end of the day she'll come. You good? Yeah. Feel better? Yeah. I will hug it out. It's never she's angry at me when I'm angry with her, but she's like one of the coolest persons to ever be around. By standard fives, we have things like rubber band wars. I pull pranks on them, they pull pranks on me, and it helps me stay motivated during the day. I love problematic children because they are must understood. So all behavior must have a reason. A child displays a behavior good or bad, because it does something for them. So that finding that pattern, it's a clue. So it's a puzzle. I need to get this puzzle done. And ADHD loves puzzles and patterns. And when you're divergent, we need to support each other. This is so much fun. I love. Yeah, to clean this up afterwards. Anyhow, question 3. Can you share a specific moment where ADHD felt like a strength and a challenge in your career? Wow. So many to choose from. Before the school year starts, my hyper focus gets me in the door with the planning. And I will plan the most outrageous curriculum for the year, from field trips to things that I know we may not do. It's like trying to be like Bill Nye the Science Guy on one side, and then you're trying to be Mr. Rogers on the other side, and you have all these life lessons you want to teach, and all these great things. And you plan this, and when I get to school, it's like a big, thick folder. I've got folders in the cupboard there, just with beautiful plans. And then I get to school, and I get my class, and reality sets in because of their limitations, their interests, that kind of stuff. But hyperfocus is wonderful planning. And mentoring. Love mentoring young teachers. I use the novelty of a particular learning activity to maintain hyperfocus. Oh, yes, the novel exercises. So, love nursery rhymes. When I have to teach nursery rhymes, whether it's for civics or morality education, ooh, I took some gold cloth, tied up my hair, pretended it was hair, stood up on the table, and I pretended to be Rapunzel for a whole day. And my students had to try to guess what was the secret phrase to get me to come off the table. And I thought the entire day standing on top of the, and that happened because I was bored out of my mind. I was like, I couldn't get myself to follow a lesson plan to save my life. I was like, you know what? What would happen if you stood up on top of a table whole day? And then I remember I have a piece of gold cloth because teachers are pack rats. We as soon as something becomes available, we're going to teach it. Sorry, reallocate it for teaching purposes. So I had a piece of gold cloth that I saw somewhere in some presentation we did in college. So I had it. That was my hair. And next time I tied up my hair as a turban. What was I doing? For some reason we had a lesson on oil for standard fives, and the teacher asked me to do the lesson for that, and I kept it on all day. And the fact that I kept a straight face the entire day, knowing my hair was, I got pictures of it somewhere. And I was like, teacher, come, so I'll be like, what? What do you need? So I said, headband up, my hair. That's wrong, my hair. So you have a turban. Yes, I have a turban because I am a genie. I am here not to grant your wishes. Okay? And I just went off the rails after that. That's been like ridiculous. Challenge. Woo, lack of enthusiasm for a certain task. Listening to children read. I believe in reading. I believe in teaching of reading. I believe children must practice it because reading is a diminished skill. If you don't practice, you're going to forget how to read. But to hear a little child, and the water flowed from the from the see, no, come on. By the second child, I'm like this. I wanna die. So I've learned to you get your most prolific reader and your most critical student, and you team them together and have everybody else read for them. One will do the correcting, and the other one will show them, no, okay, right, this is what you're going to do. Peer teaching and scaffolding. I also hate dictation. Ooh. So I do things like readers theater and also to get involved. As I said, I do character impersonation, so I spend the entire day as the big bad wolf. Or the Grinch. Christmas time, I usually do the Grinch. Didn't go as fast as I thought about it. Went to the productivity and management. Ooh. What are your favorite tools or strategies for staying organized and productive? Technology. Yes, use of a smartphone. Smartphone and laptops for integration. That is how I stay on time. YouTube. Why reinvent the wheel? Somebody has a video doing something correctly and they sure need to see it. Because I have all knowledge is three things: a process, a fact, process, fact, concept. And there's a video on it. My favorite personal assistant, ChatGPT. One day I will give that secret. Stay productive. Coffee. Lots and lots of coffee. We have two major coffee houses in Trinidad. We have Starbucks and Richards. Richards being the local brand. They all know me. Number 5, how do you prioritize tasks when everything feels urgent? Nope, not everything feels urgent. Don't have that problem, but what I do, it is bad. I prioritize based on consequences for not completing. And it's the older you get, consequences don't matter. The most severe consequence is for not completing it, they higher the priority. But I've learned to override that because of my two major beliefs. 1, I'm not dying at my desk. Oh my gosh, I am fed up of teachers dying at their desk internationally. I am not going to die on the job. They literally get somebody to replace you the next day. And my child and my mortgage need me. Let's do a lesson on aerodynamics again. Question 6. What time management technique works for you and why? Body doubling. Whether it be schoolwork, housework, delivering lessons, doing planning. I need somebody to sit in the corner and just be here. It's weird, yes. It works. Don't shoot the cow. Timers. Timers are fun. Let's quickly get this one to go far. Nope. Because suddenly listen to airplanes. Workplace challenges. There's supposed to be 7 because this one is 8, right? What challenges have you faced in the workplace due to ADHD and how did you overcome it? So let's go through what I hate about teaching. Staff meetings. Why? Send an email. You're going to sit in a staff meeting. We're going to read the minutes from the last meeting and we're going to say the same things we said then again. Why are we doing this? We know it's not going to do it. Staff meeting at the beginning of the year, staff meeting at the end of the year, everything in between, send an email. disciplinary meetings. Oh my gosh. If I got to the point where I'm going to break your rule, you do not need to sit me down for 45 minutes to explain that you're upset that I broke your rule because it was a stupid rule. And the fact that you caught me meant that I'm good with the consequences. Go bite a frog. Parent complaints. I love parents. Try and let your complaints be about real stuff, not the fact that your child said that they didn't get breakfast, lunch, or break time because I told them they couldn't eat in class. Yeah, that much of a monster. I only have two issues when it comes to eating: popcorn, which is a choking hazard, and two, me having to feed you. We don't do that. And staff cliques. Oh my gosh. I would say women are the worst, but then I know better. If this group isn't talking to that group, or this group doesn't like that girl, I don't give a crap. I talk with everybody, whether or not you like me. Because deep down in my heart, knowing you don't like me, I'm going to interact with you even more. Because I'm not. Yeah. Question 8. Have you ever had to advocate for yourself or request accommodations? How did you approach it? How did you approach that conversation? The answer should be no, except this one time. Hey! So I got fed up of going to workshops for 6 years, about stuck in the infants department. So January 2025 will make it 10 years at this particular school. And infants and life skills or low functioning students has been my bread and butter. And 6 years of going to workshops ended because of COVID. Ta-da! So every year you'd go to workshops, and we hate repetition. Oh my gosh, same workshop, same people, and then you make me go. I learned the curriculum by heart because I hate people questioning what I do. So you go to learn about the curriculum, and the people who are delivering the lectures themselves didn't read it, and they have wrong information, and that pisses me off. What was the other thing? There was another thing on the paper. Oh, unnecessary repetition of rules. Again, your rules were stupid. I have a job spec. Job spec says do this. I did this. But then you come and say, you would like me. And the minute you start that, I started hearing Charlie Brown's teacher in my head. And I look at you like, oh, poor child. Question 9. How do you handle procrastination or difficulty focusing with less stimulating tasks? Oh, yes. Ooh, the hard ones. I reassign the important thing, like I make somebody else in charge of making sure that task gets done. I'm going to do the task. I'll just say, hey, Paul's, my friend Paula. I'll say, Paul's, here's what you're going to do. Your job is to make sure that I get these reports done and hand them in on time. That's what I mean. You just put somebody else, you assign somebody else to make sure it gets done. You're still going to do the work, but they're the ones to like, hey, you remember you have to do so on so Tuesday? Oh, right. Yeah. All right. Whatever. And you set a thing in your phone. Blah, blah, blah. Find novelty in the task. What's a mundane task that I hate? Attendance. I don't see why it is. I have to physically take attendance every day. So I started calling everybody some weird names. Shout out to Kid and Peel. Y'all were very, very influential. Trust me, Balake, you should hear what I do to names. All right, create an obscure reward for completing the task. Oh yeah, snacks. So a simple reward can be, let's say I have to teach, or let's just say I had to do something I really didn't want to do. And I reward myself for giving 115% by, let's say, by KFC sandwich. Something I wouldn't regularly do. I just do it for that. And procrastination is actually dealt with. Ooh, that went far. Killian's going to cuss me out for the state of this room afterwards. Strengths and success. What unique strength do you think ADHD brings to your career? Ha ha! Here comes the ADHD superpowers. Hyper focus. The ability to engage with a particular activity non-stop for days. This is beautiful. Like kitchen gardening or something in the kitchen. Me and my kids, we locked in for days. Creativity, innovation, doing something that no one has ever done before, or having to teach a lesson creatively, wonderful. High energy lover, oh my gosh, I've been jumping off tables and chairs. And my kids will be hyped too. I'm like, we're going to do this. So things like teaching PE, probably go exploring around the yard. Oh my gosh. Finding treasure hunts. You call these things, boy? We have the scavenger hunts. Hey, you bored in school? Do a scavenger hunt. Especially your class loses stuff all the time. Scavenger hunt, pencils. You make a list of stuff that they keep losing. Trust me, it's fun. Resilience, being able to bounce back when disappointed or annoyed. Works. Spontaneity and adaptability. Let's say you had your whole week planned and then all of a sudden your principal tells you this needs to be done, that, so there's interruptions to your regular school day. Normal stuff. Quick thinking, being able to work on your feet, empathy, and intuition. That child's going to be sick. What do you mean the child's going to be sick? Being confident, no, that child is sick. Say the mom. It actually shows you patterns in human behavior. Most beautiful thing. In fact, I spend more time predicting people's behavior and trying to see if I get it right or wrong. It's like gambling mentally. Risk taking and fearlessness. Hey. Yeah. No comment. This podcast might be used against me later on in a disciplinary meeting. Curiosity and curiosity and passion for learning. I love learning. I love helping children learn. Sense of humor and playfulness. Big picture thinking, multitasking, handling chaos. Life is chaotic in a classroom. Hey, I tried something different, right? What advice should you give to someone with ADHD struggling to find their career path? Okay, first thing first, find out what you actually like. Forget about making any money. Forget about paying your bills. If you do something you actually like, the chances of your ADHD affecting negatively your job, it's limited. It's very, very limited. I love security guards. You're some of the coolest people ever, but I can never be a security guard. It's essentially you put down 5 people in charge of a building. No, I would Too much practice. Let's just put it that way. Yes, find your interests, identify which one of your superpowers align with your job, and make sure you're indispensable. Make sure they can never get rid of you because you are the baddest mofo ever. Nobody can do it like you. With me is dealing with children who have behavioral issues. Supporting neurodivergent professionals. Okay. What can you emphasize? What can employers do to create a more inclusive environment for neurodivergent employees? One, flexible hours. We turn on later in the day. Daylight does not mean productivity for us. Work from home or telecommuting works better. I could work from a library versus working from the office where everybody's talking or listening to this mundane music. Died. Create an isolation room where they can work from. Yes, sometimes we need full isolation so we could rock out and get that green noise or brown noise out to get us productive. Lots of coffee and snacks. Mental health days off. Team building activities with physical exertion. How can colleagues support someone with ADHD in the workplace? Listen to their personal preferences. If they like public displays of affection or not. Do they like you to overshare or not? Please be mindful of their time management. Don't come with your long conversations and get them caught up and then they're distracted for the rest of the day. No judging language. We criticize ourselves enough already for you to come and help. And last but not least, reflection and inspiration. If you had one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be? Do what makes you happy. Don't do what other people think you will be better at. You know yourself. You have to live with the consequences of your actions. Forget people. And you're not everybody's cup of tea. Don't try to be. But that's it for episode 8. Thank you for watching. This episode is not going to be edited much. I don't think there's anything major to edit for it. So this is going to go out just as is. We're going to throw in our regular intro and disclaimer. Guys, thanks for joining me. I hope this was helpful. There's another question and answer session coming up. Episode 10, I believe, because episode 9 is an interview with my cousin, Tubbs. That other one has to come out. That has to be edited. Oh, that has to be edited. A lot of bleeping in that one. So, thanks again. Dreamers, you know where to find us. Episodes are now on Spotify and on YouTube. The full episodes, snippets will be on TikTok because, we understand you all don't like long content as much. All right, so keep in touch. Let me know what you all think. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Come on, guys. I need to know what you're thinking about. Agan.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Selling Dreams podcast. We pray the information shared on this episode. Remember to visit us at our website sellingdreamspodcast.com or listen to whole episode on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or any other platforms that you listen podcasts on. Until next time, bye.